Okay, so more on this theme of indoor putting. Now, when I look back at most of the mid to high handicappers that would be struggling with their putting, the single most common pattern that I see is that open face outside takeaway. Okay, and that creates a whole number of issues in terms of where the ball starts. Typically, what we see is that player will really struggle with left to right putts, with sort of constantly leaving that face open, aiming issues, what have you. So the first thing is understanding sort of where you fit in when it comes to the stroke, like what is your tendency, and really with putting mats nowadays, you can find very quickly sort of where your stroke fits in. Are you more of an in to in? Are you more of a down the line? Do you have a tendency of getting outside the line? Where do you fit? Okay, and if you're not sure, the best advice is just take a video. Okay, get a video right down the line, just above the height of the ground, and you can really see how that putter is traveling down the line. And I've got a putting mat set up right here. So a lot of these are quite similar. They give us sort of a straight line to the target, and they'll give us a subtle arc as well. So that arc is there just as a visual reference, but it can also be good help for us to be able to sort of track how that putter is moving. Okay, we want the putter to travel on this arc. We want the face of the putter to stay square to the arc. So that means that over the distance of the putting stroke, the face will point slightly right to the target, but it will be square to the arc. And I think for a lot of people's eyes, they're not quite sure as to what that looks like. And I certainly see far more mid to high handicappers that open the face too much rather than not enough. Okay, and I see way too many mid to high handicappers that the putter blade works too straight or even more outside than those that work in. Okay, so this is not an all-encompassing, all of you must do this type of video, but this is certainly a tip that fits many of you. Okay, so I want those of you who fit into the category of being in that outside open face putting stroke style, I want those of you to have the awareness when you're setting up. Get connected to where the face points at address. And I want you to practice this feeling of being able to keep the blade more square and let the putter head track more in towards your right shoe. Okay? Now, if you do this enough times, and if you start to feel connected with the armpits, watch how that face travels and just let that putter work in. You do this enough times and you're really going to start getting used to the arc that the putter should travel on. Okay? Now, going from an outside in and open to more of a square to arc style putter is going to take you a few reps, but that's what indoor practice is for, is just developing that stroke pattern such that when we take this outside, it's where it needs to be. Okay, so again, I'm just going to practice that takeaway. Blade's going to feel square, putter's going to track slightly inward. Now I'm going to let this one go. Okay, good. So this is all for those of you that have that open face, putter head tracks outside type of a stroke pattern. If that's you, work on this, okay? Have that blade feel more square. Allow that blade to work in towards that right shoe. Practice that takeaway 30, 40 times. Then practice it in motion, back and through. Get the feeling of using the rotation of the body. The putter head will follow you, and the blade will feel like it stays more square, if not a little bit more closed throughout the motion. But you'll find that it's a lot easier for you to hit the putts online. Once you start doing that, you'll start trusting your reads a lot more. Okay? So again, this is for those that are the open face outside the line. And this tip is really going to help those if you put in that time indoors so that when you go outside next season, your putting stroke's ready to rock. So I'm just going to practice this feeling of having that blade stay more square as that putter head tracks on that inside arc. Okay? So to those of you that may have been in that kind of a stroke pattern, this is going to feel shut and in. I'm sure, okay? It's going to feel like it's closed and working inside a lot. But again, if this is where you were, we want to get out of that pattern because this is very difficult to deliver squarely on a routine basis. So by training this pattern of working more on that arc, staying slightly more closed, it's really going to help your ability to start that ball on line.